Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
and 50th Celebration Commission on Tuesday, April 29th at 10 a.m. We're a little late, but That is my fault. First, let's introduce the committee members, and also we have people from two different library and Parks and Rec, and also Bob, who is the master of the universe of internet in Exeter. So, Julie, go ahead.
What am I doing?
You're going to introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm the select board representative.
Renee Allen, representing DAR.
Françoise Elise or Fran, representing the Heritage Commission. And I just wanted to point out, if you go to the meeting calendar on Exeter, you will find our meeting, and then the agenda is there, and the minutes will be there.
Right. Yeah. And I will try to post the agenda as soon as we finish with the meeting, a couple days after. That's what I did last time. But let me get up to speed on that. And Karen, you're going to be back next week. So Karen, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Karen Pryor. I'm a resident of Exeter for 30 years, and I'm serving on the committee as a resident citizen and also as a member of the board of the American Independence Museum. So thank you.
Excellent.
I'm Lauren Brooks. I am here as representative of the Exeter Public Library.
Barbara Rukunis with the Exeter Historical Society.
I'm Bob Glacke with Exeter TV.
I'm Caroline Neal with Exeter Parks and Recreation.
And I'm Kathy Corson. I'm the co-chair with Karen. I just want to make sure we have a quorum here, because I know that we have at least one person missing, right, of our people.
You, Barbara, Fran, Renee. That's 4 out of 6.
Okay, so we do have
Karen.
Karen, okay, good.
And we have somebody, I said earlier before you came, John Ring is joining us.
Oh, excellent.
So then the
He's the
membership is
mayor.
full.
He's the mayor, so this is perfect.
Can I interrupt on that for a second? So Julie, you said John Ring's joining us?
Yes.
That's fantastic. So can I just add a quick annotation? Because the Racial Unity team has reached out to us and through AIM, and so I've been connected with them, and John Ring is part of the Racial Unity team. So that's great that he's going to serve on the committee. That's wonderful news. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. So what we had, I put an agenda together, and I also wanted to make sure that after we introduce ourselves that we have public comment in case, and that will always be up there in case there is somebody from the public that is planning something that we don't know about and has come to talk. So that's, and now is probably not the time that it will be that important, but as we get into the 250th, I'm sure that we will have more, or coming close to it. So, and we get our the word out. So.
And just to be clear, the folks that are from the town employees are not voting members. It's including me. Fran is as a member of the Heritage Commission, but our employees are the list.
Yeah, and we're so glad you're here, because I know how involved the library can be on the theme. Obviously, like, you are a member of the committee, and you guys too. I mean, and obviously all the stuff that you do, you organize who's allowed to use what, and that's really important too. So I think it's we want you here as much as possible. And Bob always gets the word out, so we know that. So there are minutes, my fault, we don't have them, but we have them now. So just, Karen will get some, and we will work on this, approving them at the next meeting. So so the bulk of the meeting, we were going to talk about the planning for the next 18 months. I was going to bring in calendars, but then, I'm not in the new technology. But my husband pointed out that I could do it on this board, and because he's here for the facilities committee and he does all these things. So I would like to get a calendar up there and maybe start with the fall, because I don't believe, do you see anything in the coming, months that that we're going to be doing, or do you think, I guess we should first think about what's our first thing that we're going to be a part of, and we'll talk about get the other groups coming in and logos and things like that we talked about next time. But I think this is a good place to start. Yes, Karen.
I just wondered, I want to be respectful of Bob Polak's time this morning, and that we invited him to kind of give an overview, like he gave to me, of how he can support this commission from a technology perspective, both our website and social media, because I know, Bob, you're also interested in the work we're doing for sure, but I also want to be mindful of your time in terms of
I'm good on time, so however you guys want to run your meeting. No.
Okay, good.
No worries
All
for
right,
me.
thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to.
Okay, so I think if we keep with let's do this, and then we can do that later if you guys all have the time to spend. And maybe first I should ask if you at the library or you at Parks and Rec have any specific dates or things in mind, or Bob, that would be something that we would put on the calendar.
Definitely. I know we work with the Independence Museum to run the Independence Festival and the fireworks in July.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a great kickoff event. I know in Lexington they had a big countdown. So they started 1 year before, and then they had a 365-day countdown to the 250th, which was pretty cool. And I know they did a big kickoff event last year. So kind of maybe using that existing event as a starting place might be.
Okay.
So using.
I went to the kickoff last year, and that's when I came back with the brass band concert festival or whatever, so maybe the kickoff is some kind of brass band, as well as tabling at the Independence Festival. That's just a tabling event, but then, do a brass band kickoff with a countdown thing or something.
So that would be, since the bulk of our activities that we're planning is that last week in June to July 4th, then we're talking about soon.
Yes.
In June.
Well, the Independence Festival is scheduled for Saturday, July 12th this year.
And the brass band is having their concerts every Monday in July, so maybe their final concert could be somehow announced that this committee is existing or something. These things are already happening, so.
Yeah.
So for this year, announce it at the
Yeah,
end.
it's like a countdown to, at their last.
Should you do it at the first one because it's the countdown to
I don't know.
events?
I don't have a connection with them, or I don't even know if that's anything.
I
they
can
do,
talk to
but-
Dave Emanuel, Kathy.
Okay, so maybe that's the first, I don't know if we'd have any literature at that point, because it is pretty quick to present, or a logo at that time, or I don't know if
No,
how
but
fast.
We might. I've been in touch with SST, and they're on vacation this week, but their digital marketing group is very interested in putting together our logo. Whether we can turn it around in time, ideally, I'd like to have it turned around in time to go out with the chamber's booklet that they put together. So we have a free half page in there for the 250th, and that goes out in June.
What was the deadline on that?
No.
June 1st.
So we have a month to do that.
All right, so yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to get it together that fast, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
Okay.
School ends in June, so they might be a good fun project.
Well, I wonder if they, curriculum is done by the year. I would think it would be hard to even get that, but who knows?
No,
They're
they have a project they're working on now, but they're very interested in it. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay. All right, so maybe our first thing is that concert in July, or either the first concert or the last concert, whatever we can do. It would be nice to have it the first, because I feel like people go away after that. And at least you've got some of that in their minds, obviously the festival too. So somehow we need to create some kind of presence
I'm
there.
sure we could come up with a tri-fold or a half sheet or something that just lists, I don't know, even the committee's mission and our
Yeah.
target of having a festival, 2-week festival kind of thing.
Yeah,
Vague bulleted points, a
Yeah.
bookmark.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea. I know the Alewife Festival's coming up, but, I mean, that's May 10th, we
Yeah, it's
can't
not a
really.
tie-in really.
No, I'm just saying to introduce ourselves,
Yeah.
you know, but it's not.
We can't even start on time.
Fish aren't here yet.
The fish will be here,
Fish are here.
guaranteed.
are they?
You saw them? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Last Friday.
Oh, boy, here come the birds.
Fish.
Yeah, here kind of seagulls.
Yeah. All right, so maybe we will do that for those times. August is really nothing, right? As far as having an event, or do you,
I don't know, people are on vacation. I think the
Exactly.
town is like vacant.
exactly. September,
September always has Constitution Week in it.
okay.
So that's something that maybe at the American Independence Museum.
Do you know if you're doing anything for Constitution Week, Karen?
September? I don't know, no. I can check.
We will, the DAR will probably partner with Joe
Oh.
Hayes to get some Constitution Week.
Okay.
I mean, we do it every year, we just do it differently, but this year we can do it there.
Okay. I suppose, go ahead.
So wait a minute, Renee,
Yeah?
BAR does something every week, every September for Constitution Week, and you're thinking partnering with us for that?
Yes, and we did last year. We partnered, we had those 2 events, one for members and the public, and then one just for the DAR.
Okay, good.
Jennifer Carr had written a program on the New Hampshire Constitution, how they drafted it, because, they're on the wall there. And so it's
Okay.
just public events, so we'll
Why don't
probably.
you and I talk offline about that?
Okay.
Okay, so September is that Constitution Week, but otherwise, people are just getting back into the groove of things. October,
When is the UFO festival?
Labor Day
that's
weekend.
September, yeah, that's Labor Day weekend. We could have a table there as well.
There's also the Team Fest in September.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, the team, so we could
Tabling.
try and do tables at any festival that's, the UFO
Yeah.
or the Teen Fest. So those would be things. I know that the Friends of the Library did do a table at the American Independence Festival. And so, seeing that we're a small group, maybe we could somehow partner with things like that, to get, more people involved. And I mean, I think reaching out to them because there's a lot of them and they're a busy group. So maybe, help team up because like I said, there's not many of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Team up with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So on these informational things that we want to introduce this year, we should have something specific, not necessarily a date, but these are the things that are coming up.
Yeah.
The bookmarks
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, so somehow we need to get, at least by September, a list or for September, maybe July. It'd be nice to have something for July,
Kind of a
but it
calendar.
could be vague in July and then we could have the real thing in September. Does that make sense? I think that's what we could do. So,
So we need that logo.
we need the logo,
Logo
that's
needs to be-
big,
that's a
yeah,
good one.
because that's really where we can go from there.
And Renee, have you talked to Sarah Koff yet?
I did, but she is not the logo, right?
No.
Just the banners.
Correct. Yes, she is interested.
So it's a start.
She is interested. She was wondering what the budget is for it.
That's what we need to find out.
Yes.
So what you're saying is we need to have a budget we have to come up with a budget.
Right,
and ask the town to.
we have $5,000 to get this prep, like the bookmarks, et cetera, the things that we want to have out on tables and flyers. And also for seed money, if we want to have an event that raises funds for the group. But we do need to have an estimate of what things are going to cost during 2026. So
Okay.
that
Two-year
Right,
kind
because
of-
that's that 2026 budget.
So we need to have an idea of our budget in September, October, after we get our list of things we want to do, then we can find out a little more
Okay.
about how much it costs.
Just a note, because we prepare our budgets, you might want to have that in June.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's when the departments will be,
Yeah.
pitching it and everything.
Right. So we need to do a budget. So,
And we need our events.
Could we form a budget committee that works by itself without
Yeah.
a whole?
that's what I was gonna say, a subcommittee for the budget. Really, but, and I will say, when you have a subcommittee, you still have to notice your subcommittee. From a 91A standpoint, so if there is a subcommittee, we have to, don't we have to do that?
Post it.
So we have to post it, and then we have to have a meeting minute. It does not have to be like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
But,
It's as long as
and
it's-
even, so, yeah, it's just like,
Yeah, same difference.
we talked about the budget, so-and-so was there. So, and Julie, is this gonna be under the select board's budget? Is that what that
Yeah, it'll
is?
be the special events, select board.
Special events, select board, okay. Because,
Well,
I've been on the
actually-
budget committee.
I know, you
And
should
I've been
have-
on
you
the
should
select board, so,
Well, actually, we have our own fund, so
Right.
it could be its own line item.
okay, all right. I know that there is that, so I just wondered where it falls in.
Yeah, I'll check on
So that who we report to. So I saw Bob in there, Karen. I saw him go by.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, did he come back out? Let's see. So in June, we need to formulate our budget. So does anybody want to work on that committee, that subcommittee?
I can do it.
Okay, Renee, do you?
Yeah, I'll be on it.
Okay, all right. So when we talk about these events, then, so we really, with these events, we need, like you said, a trifold, we need maybe a banner. It would be even nice to have, a banner somewhere, even like in the library or for the next whatever, the library, the town hall. I wonder if we could just have it up until, once we have it up until that, the end of events. Because I think that, do we have a problem with that?
It'd be
Yes.
interesting to
Okay.
see your countdown look like in Lexington.
Oh, I have it right here.
It was right outside of town hall.
It was massive.
It was huge. Yeah.
That's like a $5,000 item.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, we could get the woodworking.
I mean, that's our whole
SST.
half of our budget.
Yeah. The SST could do that.
Yeah.
With the poster board, is that what we're talking about?
No, I'm not talking, we're gonna have a banner.
A banner.
So I know the poster board is hard to come by. It's
There's just a policy
Yeah,
on it,
yeah,
so you can only reserve it like
Fran.
3 times for
Yeah.
2-week increments throughout the year.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about a banner because I do believe there might be a ordinance on signage.
Yeah, but what if it's inside the town hall for any event you have, or then we could put the banner up, let's say when there's a festival of some sort, or,
The banner on the town hall is an idea, it's a maintenance issue, just because of wind, et cetera.
Oh, that's true.
But I hate saying this, but it can't happen. Being a town committee, you don't necessarily have to obey the rules of any of our zoning ordinances
You're right, I
or
remember
some of
that.
the other ordinances.
Yeah.
So, hanging banners on the bandstand, we could probably do that.
Yeah.
because it doesn't cause any kind of damage to the building. So that's not, but a traveling banner is good.
Okay, so maybe this banner, if we had one banner and it each month it moved. So it moved one month, put it in the main area, move to, if we know there's a
kind of around town.
oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So if it was inside the library or inside the town hall, you would hope that it wouldn't get
Yeah,
stolen.
if it's inside. If it's just
Right.
outside overnight, I don't know.
Right.
And I have another suggestion. I don't know if anybody ever drives through Ipswich, Mass, but they have a banner that goes right over the streets. It's like from phone pole to phone pole. It's kind of clothy.
Yeah,
And it will be, the Strawberry Festival. It's like one place where they put all of their banners
Right.
and that's it.
right.
I think we used to do
Yeah, we
that.
used to do that right in the town.
Yeah, we have to talk to Unitil about attachments to their
You
poles.
use the things where the Christmas lights are hung up, because those hooks are still there.
Yeah, as long as, 18-wheeler doesn't take it out, we'll be all right. But they don't.
They're
They
pretty
don't,
high.
for the
don't.
lights, so.
They're pretty high.
So, I mean, we could, well, I was gonna
Facade.
say we could do it in front of the Ioka, but that doesn't matter anymore. So maybe that's where, but we wouldn't wanna, so maybe you call Ipswich and ask them, how much do those banners cost, Because,
I think you
And
can
how-
just buy them on Vistaprint. You can get them in fabric. You can get them in mesh. It depends on how big you want.
How
So
big and
this
how
can
long
be
you
seen on
want it.
Vistaprint.
Yeah.
We did one for the Lincoln event back in 2010. I don't remember what it cost, I'd have to look at and that was 2010, so that's 15 years ago. So never mind.
So we're talking
But I know
like
you can get
outside
them.
or inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We should get one for, like, if we're gonna have table events, we should have one, in front of the table too. I
Yeah.
mean, something smaller.
yeah, like
So, and
3 feet, 2 feet.
yeah, and that would be something like Historical Society could borrow it if we're running one of our programs. Put that up, just to make sure people have it.
Yep. I mean, we could go to the farmer's market. I know that the Friends of the Library sometimes goes to the farmer's market, so maybe we could partner with them and go
I'm just gonna
on
have to
to
find the
that.
people to stand at these.
Well, that's why I'm saying we need to partner with the Friends of the Library, and because they do have a lot of people, and see if we can't. So maybe I could go to the next Friends of the Library meeting, or somebody, whoever wants to go. We could go. Somebody could go to the next library meeting and just talk to them about what we're trying to do and that we're just starting. Maybe you could do that, Barbara.
Going to the Friends of the Library?
Yeah.
When did
They meet
Or-
once.
or
Well,
Lauren,
but Lauren, yes, but I'm saying like Lauren could go. I don't know. Are you allowed to go or?
I can talk to Julia about it.
Okay.
She attends all the meetings.
Yes.
I'm, as staff, I have to be kind of separate from the friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot how those relationships work.
Right. That's the thing. That's why I didn't.
But I'll mention Julia.
Okay. Ask Julia who should go or. I feel like somebody from our committee should go, just because then it gives it more, we're voting members and it gives it more of a sense that, we should have a tag. All right, so,
Should we go back to the calendar?
yes,
Yeah.
we should, so.
To September.
Well, Bob mentioned team.
Yeah.
Now, do they do multiple events?
I think they do one every month, or they do like May, July, and September, I think,
Yeah,
for their
Right.
team fests.
okay.
And also Parks and Rec has those outdoor
The
concerts on Thursdays, right?
Yep, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have Tune In Fork
Oh, they do.
right
Okay.
here.
Oh, right.
And then, Townhouse Common, and then every Thursday we're down in Swayze.
Okay.
And those start at the end of June.
End of June. And go till,
August, I think mid-August, I wanna say. And we have interns down there too, so it's also something like we can leave materials with interns. If like a person isn't able to attend,
okay,
we can have our interns kind of help spread the word.
okay, all right, that sounds good. All right, so we're gonna, I don't want like folders, I think like you said, like not even a trifold, but like a little
Bookmarks that have
bookmark
sheet
or a
something.
sticker or something that people can take with them, and it's, not big and it's not, littered all over a concert or something like that.
How about a fan?
A fan, there you go, especially in July.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So basically what I see is that from now till September, it's getting the word out and it's having material to get the word out, right?
You could also do something like they've done for Pearpoint Park, and ask for suggestions of
Oh,
a
that's a good
survey,
idea.
what kind of events you want to have, not necessarily a survey, but just
Yeah.
to give us some ideas.
I like that idea.
Yeah, me too.
Does the town have that software now that you can send out it's gonna be a survey, because it's gonna be
Yeah,
We would use Google Forms, which is what the Pearpoint
Okay.
survey.
and then just put it, and then all of us would need to share it, make sure that people,
Yep, just like we did with the Pearpoint Park.
Okay.
It's on the website. They have QR codes all around town, flyers for it. We
Yeah.
sent it out in email newsletter, social media. It's everywhere.
So I'm thinking this might be a nice time for Bob to present, because we're running low on time and we're only on like September. Calendar wise, I don't see us again.
I was just gonna add a note on the calendar. You got the Beer and Chili Fest, which is probably
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest event.
that's a parent.
When is
To
that?
do some.
It's called Powder Keg, and we run it, Parks and Rec runs it with the Chamber of Commerce, and I believe it's October 5th.
How many people does that bring in?
3,000.
3,000.
3,000, yeah.
So, is it, how do you get a table at that event?
Offer
You
some
talk to
chili.
me.
Kathy? No, Kathy, I've already talked to Jen Wheeler, and we're on board with that, and they're gonna help us with some branding for it, and we can easily get a table through them.
Okay.
I know the historical society you guys offered. You had your own chili.
It's October.
booth one.
We did one time, yeah.
I follow this account on social media. That's Townsend. I don't know if you know. They're like they make 17th and 18th century reproductions for reenactors and everything like that.
What-
It's like
what's
the
this one?
leading Townsend and Co. They're like one of the leading outfitters for reenactors, I think. But he has like a YouTube channel. And it's all like colonial recipes. Basically, like how to make hardtack and all this stuff.
Colonial chili.
So if there was some colonial chili, like you guys, if you
Made
could
with
pull it
eels.
together, could have your own. That'd be better than a table where you're
There
just
you
giving out.
go.
Actually give out some
Johnny cakes or something.
chili or something.
Johnny
It doesn't
cakes.
have
It's
to
not
be
gonna be
historical,
chili.
but
Johnny
Not
Cakes and
possible, right?
Twitchell.
The reason we're saying chili is because it's a beer and chili
Right,
festival.
but
Yeah.
cornbread goes
Oh,
in with
yes,
that.
yes,
So
yes.
Johnny cakes
Yes.
are kind of cornbread,
Okay, that makes sense.
because there was no like Mexican flair.
Oh, that could be a fundraiser, just saying. If we charge for our cornbread, our
I think that
250.
everything's free there
I
because you
know.
pay to get
Yeah,
into it.
food
I get it.
trucks are.
Okay,
There
yeah.
are food trucks we also have like artisan vendors as well. So there
Okay.
are ways that we could have like paid tables.
Yeah.
But we do like set you up differently in the festival depending on if you're
Selling or advertising.
selling. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Even if we're nonprofit or
Yeah.
not for profit,
Yeah.
okay, or government.
Really good idea.
All right, so we could think about that. It's a lot to do for a small group, but we can think about really that. Bob, what did you want to tell us?
What did you guys want to hear? I guess Karen, did you just want me to give them an update on basically what I told you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you can summarize it much better than I could deliver it.
Sure. I mean, I'll summarize today. Like I'm at your guys' disposal for what you need for communication stuff. I think the central thing for you guys is going to be your committee webpage, which you go to all boards and committees. And you guys are right here. So, on your page here, we can have a bunch of other pages embedded here that, maybe have like the list of events. I think we have our town calendar, which people can find under community and event calendar. So like, let's say the Historical Society is doing an event that you guys are co-sponsoring as a committee. We can post it just like we post your meetings on the town calendar. We could post the name of the event, and then, add a little text like, the 250th Commission's excited to partner with the Historical Society on the talk on XYZ, and then that would show up here with a link back to the external sites. Karen spoke at our when we met about, you guys are the spoke of connecting everything on the wheel, I guess, as a metaphor. So this is where you can send people out rather than like creating some website that's going to be separate from everything and having to manage a whole other site. We'll use the existing infrastructure on here and include events in our email newsletter when they go out. We can promote them with videos,
Do you have a
social media posts.
social, not necessarily a 250 social media account? This
Yeah, we would
just
just
run
use
into
I
the
think
town
it'd be
one?
better to use the town's existing Facebook page
Okay.
because it already has whatever,
Yeah.
check how many followers we have, but rather than building something up and then, it might take a while. Of course, they're not gonna let me people, let me see. 7,000 followers on here, so like you wouldn't get that in a year, I don't think, starting your own thing. So we can just have everything posted on there. I'm sure like Parks and Rec and the TV station and the library can reshare some stuff when it's related to the stuff they do.
When you put it on your social, could you hashtag it or something so that people could sort by that? Or
Yeah, I
something like
guess
that,
from what I've heard, people like hashtag is not really something people do too much anymore.
Whatever you
So yeah, I mean, it's on YouTube. It'd be easy. We can make a playlist. The way Facebook and Instagram, I mean, it's kind of posted and then it's out there in the ether, and you're gonna see it, or it's not like that's where I would point people back to your website where you've had it curated, a PDF that has a list of every event, links to everywhere. Social media, you wouldn't. That's not where you're going to organize everything. I think we could do Facebook events on the Facebook page too. So everything's, it would be there for the event side of thing. But
listed as 250. I'm just, for people that aren't that savvy and can't like get into every little nook and cranny like.
Yeah, that's where I think the website is where you'd want to be pointing people to, of like, and we can have when it's time, it can be. Right here on the homepage, or we'll rotate stuff through here, like stuff that's coming up soon.
If we're selling posters, whatever, swag, is there a shopping cart, or can you not do that through a town thing?
I mean, I think I defer you guys to Parks and Rec and some of the other committees, like Krista Murphy is using this company called Bonfires. It would link to some external site wherever you're doing that. Like we don't have functionality in our site.
Right, so we have to hook it up to a Stripe, to hook it up to a bank account to get it into our budget?
I wouldn't recommend doing anything that complicated. The way the Bonfire thing works, for example, which I don't think you can buy shirts anymore, but on the Alewife Festival page, you get sent a Bonfire where you create designs and you make stuff, and you can order it, and then it gets shipped right to you.
It's the poster. The poster is our fundraiser, right? And so how are we selling that? And so this is the question.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you can let people know that you're selling it and all that. I don't know.
I think it's just getting the word out. Like the library has a weekly newsletter that goes out, and I know that a lot of people read that.
So you were looking to sell like physical paper copies of posters?
Yeah, maybe we're selling them at our table, cash,
Yeah.
check. I don't know. It's a thought. But while you were here, I thought I would ask if that's a capability for you. Or
yeah, we don't have like online. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if Parks and Rec's registration system could kind of sell them through there, but I don't know if that's really what it's used for, and it would complicate the workflow of that money goes to the rec fund. But it's more like registering for programs rather than selling stuff.
All right, well, something to think about.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I would suggest, talk to Krista Murphy after the Alewife Festival ends about how they go about that, because there's huge drawbacks to like if you buy a bunch of swag to try to sell, you might not sell it, and then you're gonna be stuck with
It just
and this is like a really one-off thing.
Another thing is maybe we order, 100 of them and partner with maybe a picture's worth 1,000 words. And if anybody wants to buy one, they go there. They can also have it framed or something like this. Thought.
It depends on the pricing. If you can do
That
that.
raises a good point. I just wonder if we want to think about certain merchant partners. I think of Pictures Worth a Thousand Words. I think of Water Street Bookstore. That could we as our constant go-tos for kind of putting the library, obviously all of that, and Exeter Historical Society. But I'm thinking a couple of merchant partners. AIM, obviously, where information, posters, maybe even a display of swag, that they'd be willing, as we do things, have a couple of merchant partners downtown. That's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah, maybe it's the Chamber of Commerce that coordinates the poster somehow.
Yeah,
I don't think they have the staff to do that,
yeah.
from what I
No,
know.
there's only, yeah, I think we
do
could make relationships with 2 or 3 businesses downtown that make sense. And one of us, we could be a point person. It's not going to be a heavy lift once we have them on board. And the other thing that's nice for them is it gives them PR in terms of being collaborators with the initiative.
Yeah, I can talk to, I can just feel out Pictures Worth a Thousand, because he was on the Lit Fest board originally, and they do posters and they do framing.
And I know that Kathy at Trends always does like the Exeter ornament and stuff like that, so.
How about the art groups?
The art groups, yeah.
Seacoast Artists Association.
Yeah, the art association.
Yep.
Where they would have an example at
Yep.
each gallery.
Yeah. I could do that. So I think, it's a little overwhelming, so I think we need to figure out, how much we can do, right? How much we need to partner with people, so we need to reach out, and I know you've done a lot of reaching out, but we don't have a clear, does Parks and Rec have an event after the first of the year that would be a great event to be a 250 event?
Kickoff.
We have our Sweethearts Dance, which is like a family Valentine's dance. We could make it revolution themed this year. There's different ways, and we're always open. We usually host a one-off event every year that we don't necessarily bring back. So we're definitely open to doing new events. We've done a murder mystery dinner in the past. We do our monthly senior luncheons. That's also another great way to get out in front. We get about 75 people at each one. So great tabling opportunity. Also just a great way to have someone maybe come up and speak one day.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
some of these things, we might just need someone to speak about how we got here, like the
Yes.
father-daughter dance, would that be an opportunity way back in 1776? Probably not, because they're all working in the fields or,
Right.
January 6th, 1776 is when New Hampshire declared independence in Exeter. We were
Oh,
the
that's a good
first.
one.
I think that's fairly important.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Just noticing that is the day that we would have an Exeter Historical Society program, and I think we're doing it on trains. So I think I need to talk to Laura.
That's it.
And
It's a Tuesday, and that to me is a big kickoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good kickoff.
So we need to think about that.
The museum is closed.
Yeah, I know, it's hard, because
Yeah.
it's a tough time of year.
Yeah.
Things get shifted
Yeah.
quickly with weather and who wants to go out and.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about your, in October, the Halloween graveyard tours, the night, so it could be tours of the Patriots' graves or something like that.
I think that's
Yeah.
That's definitely not us.
Oh, they're the one that do
Yeah.
those graveyard
Yeah,
tours?
it's not historical society. So
Okay.
But that's a good idea.
that's
We
a good
haven't talked
idea.
about parades yet.
That's July, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
not this
year.
year.
2026.
Oh, Christmas parade.
But the Christmas parade,
Christmas
how can
parade.
we partner with them?
Yes, for this year.
Because they always have a theme. I don't know, do they have a theme
Yeah.
this already?
I don't know who.
All right, so isn't it Beth?
Yes.
Okay. I could call her and ask her if we could partner with her for a theme for the parade.
All right, so I could do that, because I think that would be, you know, that, so if we had a themed revolutionary Christmas, or holiday, I should say.
Which they didn't celebrate here, just to point, you know.
Yeah, I didn't have time.
It's not time. They didn't celebrate Christmas in Exeter until like the Civil War.
Okay,
All right.
until, what's his name?
Well, that is beside the point.
Yeah,
The Christmas, we don't
I'm
have to
sorry,
worry
it's gonna
about
hurt me if we sit there and do a colonial Christmas
Yes.
in Exeter, New Hampshire,
yeah.
when they didn't do Christmas. I in fact thought it was something that was downright wrong.
Thanks, Barbara.
But it doesn't mean that we can't.
Be a winter
It wasn't
theme
until
there.
the
Well, it's a
Christmas-
holiday
Cross
parade
the
anyway,
Delaware.
so let's stick it with a holiday parade because we're okay with that.
But we can be part of it, not.
Karen wants to say
Karen.
something?
Well, last year, the American Independence Museum did, we had a pretty good turnout, and we can be part of the holiday, we did it actually during the open house, right? Not the parade, I take that back. We did it during the holiday open house, which is before the parade, right? Was it like the Thursday night?
Yeah, it's the holiday block party. It's another event.
Oh, right, yeah, we did that at the beginning of
The
December.
holiday block party, and AIM opened up, and Barbara, is the Exeter Historical Society open for the block party?
Yeah, we do a children's activity, and we had a lot of kids come in and make ornaments.
Okay, so maybe, again, offline, you and I could talk about how, not partner, because I think we need to have it in both places, but how we can kind of complement one another. And like if we get folks down at AIM, we can say, hey, have you gone up and seen all the cool stuff at Exeter Historical, and vice versa in terms of shared programming about, because what Jen Carr did was she told stories to the kids about exactly what you're talking about. In the colonial days, there was they didn't celebrate Christmas. So maybe we could talk about that a little bit more.
Maybe we should have at the Festival of Trees, a tree.
That's-
Oh, yeah, we will do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Well, with nothing on it.
That's 90.
Right, it'll just be a tree.
So,
And then we cut the limbs off.
so we should get a tree this year, so that's what,
No, I
$90?
have no problem with like making a red, white, and blue, lots of Betsy Ross flags
So-
on tree.
But that's a good presence thing, is just one
Yes.
tree.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should definitely get on that. I think it's $90 to get a tree, isn't it, or something?
I'm talking about for 2026, so that we raise the money for it this year.
Oh, right,
So
right.
it'd be in this year's budget.
Well, couldn't we make that a kid event too, like maybe at the library ahead of time, like come do and help decorate the tree for Festival of Trees?
The library does their own, actually. The Friends of the Library does their own.
All right, well, maybe the why, I don't know.
Oh, maybe not last year,
I don't
but
think
the
we
year
did
before
last
they did.
We've had recommended to us, and I guess it's being pushed along, that we have a couple of kids from the middle school to join us as.
Oh, right, so that could be one
So,
thing they do.
yeah, they can, we can get ideas of what they want to see for younger people, but also we can task them with organizing the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, they might be interested in doing the tree for the Festival of Trees, right? Is that what you're suggesting, Julie?
Yeah, or something, I don't have any idea what they might want to do on their, recommend to us as an event that kids would like.
Yeah.
We all think these would be great things, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's true.
There's also the Beer for History that goes through the fall
Yeah.
for chunks of that. So maybe one of the Beer for History could be straight out 250, whatever theme.
So
Sam
what I
Adams.
can tell you is we have partnered with Exeter Brewing, and we're coming up with a beer, the Broadside. It's a Broadside brew. And that'll be at the Independence Museum, but we can probably carry it through for Beer for History. And this year, Joe's done an incredible job. He hit the ground running. We're changing so much of the museum, and for the next 10 years, each year is going to have a theme going through the Bill of Rights, because the Bill of Rights celebrates its anniversary in 2036. So, for example, next year, it's going to be the First Amendment. How appropriate, freedom of speech. And the music, all the programming is going to be around freedom of speech. So then the theme probably for Beer for History is going to go through that, and we'll have the Broadside Brew for Beer for History as well. So it'll tie together. So yeah.
So will the Broadside Brew be at the Beer and Chili Fest?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that.
We could.
I can find out.
When are they scheduled to make it, and what style of beer is it? My husband's a brewer, so I'm sorry, I have like a weird
Yeah, so
knowledge
Joe so Joe Pace is working with Exeter Brewing on it, and I don't know the answer to that yet.
Okay, yeah.
So would that be something, I know it's a fundraiser for the museum, but would that be something that we split the cost and raise funds together, or is it?
I don't know. I can talk to Joe about it all. But the thing is I think, I don't know. I mean, we may want another, I mean, this is the Broadside Brew. It is about the Constitution. I mean, are you thinking you'd want to make that the beer of the 250th?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, let me talk to Joe.
Stars Brewing has the Huzzah order.
I mean, the thing that's really kind of cool is that would also promote the heck out of Exeter Brewing. I don't think they're gonna can it. I know that for the Independence Festival, they were just gonna keg it. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't potentially can it with or bottle it, whatever, with our logo. Just like we want to do with Squamscott soda, right? So let me talk to Joe about that some more. But the idea that it would be partnered with Exeter Brewing is nice because that's a local brewery as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get at the cost of the matter and
Can't even, I mean, it's just been an initial conversation. I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the idea is that it'll make money. And so let me gather more information, like whether we can take it large and just do it throughout the 250th, whether it's just, I don't know why we couldn't.
Yeah, it's just up to them whether it's a lost leader or, how much do they have to sell?
Let me do some research. We're not gonna, that's, they just said yes.
All right, so we kind of have to wrap it up because I'm sure people have to
Can I
go.
just have one more thing on here?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up something.
Sam Adams has expressed interest in donating some beer to us that we could use as a fundraiser. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Cool. Parks and Rec, you mean us? Parks and Rec?
Parks and Rec, yeah.
Yes. So a lot of attraction for events are reenactments. People who even aren't interested in history like to go to see the reenactments. And I know that last year there was a very small group at the Independence Festival. And is there a shortage of reenactors? Because this is what I'm thinking. Reenacting is good physical exercise. It's very interesting. Maybe we could get a group of Exeterites who want to do reenactment for we'll train them for a year and they can be responsible for their own clothing and outfits, get trained, and then they can go to a parade. They can go to an event and do a little.
From being on the AIM planning committee before, it is a really regimented, people will see those people and
Yes.
be like, those are newbies, they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong,
Well,
who the heck organized this?
That's why
So-
they'll get trained.
Oh yeah, but it came out about, it was all about money with the
Right,
AIM
yeah,
Fest, so they gotta get paid, real reenactors.
And I love the idea as well.
Yeah,
but
they don't do it for free, the ones who are at the festival,
Yeah, it's like nonprofit gigs that
Yeah.
get paid to our
do this
train.
all the time.
But Robert makes a really good point. The reenactors, I mean, they are serious.
Yeah.
A member of our board is Eric. He does stuff with guns, and he was in Gettysburg for years. And I think Robert is right. I love the idea of it. But I think you can maybe get away with it with maybe some children. But I think adults, I think those that do this really authentically would be, even with training, would be pretty upset. Because also too, you got to remember all the uniforms, everything has to be authentic.
You're
It's really
responsible for your
expensive.
own.
Yeah.
The DAR does do the women dress up. We have things. I have an outfit. But I would not be calling myself a reenactor in any way because I would just incur wrath. Yeah, you can get away with it as a daughter.
All right, so let's table that for now. And did somebody else have something that they wanted to share? I think, unfortunately.
No, I just have to go because I
Yeah.
have an 11 o'clock meeting.
Okay, so I think next time, we really need to get down to the events that we're gonna schedule that are gonna be ours, that are going to be on this, whatever that we're gonna be handing out. I think we have to have this really down to the, what I think is the week of, our 2 weeks of our, that we're gonna, I mean, at least say that we're having these 2 weeks and that it's gonna culminate, well, we don't have to say exactly what's going on, but we have to have something. Or we have a flyer that says, we are doing this, we want you to get involved, here's the information, and contact us. Something along those lines, because we have to have something to announce this. And so I think we have to really do, I think, from January to July, right?
I can make some kind of sample thing so that we can have a piece of paper in front of us and look at it and scratch it out and whatever.
Yeah, because you have some ideas here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to do, I saw on this, they're doing some trips and like this Thursday, I'm bringing a group of 12 down to Lexington to do the Liberty Ride. So we could also, Parks and Rec is happy to do like some historical trips and throughout New England. So that's also a really easy thing. Like, it's already an existing program and wouldn't cost anything out of a budget. So,
Right, that
Sounds great.
That's
just a little add-on.
So we can have those during that week. So I think what we want this thing to go to our page, basically, this whatever we're handing out to go right to our page so people can see what events there are. And that's how we get the events going.
So for our next meeting, can we have a draft of what we're thinking for the calendar? Because I also have a couple of other things that are not a heavy lift for us. It's a partnership, but we're out of time. And it would be nice then maybe next time to really refine what this calendar is going to look like. And so then
So Renee volunteered to make the calendar. So if you send those events to Renee, she can put it on the calendar. I don't know if Barbara.
But they're not necessarily all finalized. I mean, that's the point, nor are
This
they.
is what we're gonna work on.
And they're not plugged into a certain date or time yet either.
Maybe in a month.
When's our next meeting?
It's next week.
Okay, so meeting next week, Karen, at 10. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, and Karen, I have a
Her camera's
business
right there,
meeting
top of the
then, so I can't come. Karen, you're gonna have to chair next week because I won't be here.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
But Kathy, will you put the agenda together, please?
Yes, I'm going to.
Okay.
So you're gonna do a calendar.
I don't understand what you say. I didn't say I was doing that. Like, I said I was doing a little postery thing, an intro poster.
Oh, okay.
Intro
Calendar
poster.
first, a draft calendar.
Yeah.
I can work on that. So send me, but you had all these things that you were thinking of.
I can work with you. We can
Okay.
talk
in the
separately.
minutes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so anybody else have anything?
Yes, I just want to say, yes, I've touched base with PDA.
Yeah.
They're figuring out what they're gonna do, and also Riverwoods, they're figuring out what they're gonna do. So those two are also.
I know that they have like a window
board.
that they're doing right now on 250. So.
I spoke to Bob Hall on the train. He doesn't expect there to be any Freedom Train like there was on 250.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to talk to Amtrak to see if they're even going to do one of those fling things they do on trains.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
But I don't expect there to be, unless we do something ourselves at the station, I don't expect there to be any confetti throwing, happy 250th here. And who else? And somebody brought up Dan Brown doing something.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got to contact us about it. He doesn't want to be bothered by people calling him.
Oh, gosh, you know what else? Who's the town, are we participating in a reading? Oh, my gosh, that the Black Heritage Trail hosts? Are we
What
doing
is
that
the
again?
month of July?
Barbara?
She's
She's
gone.
not here.
But usually it's the racial unity team that does that, like What to the Slave is the 4th of July. That
Yep.
one? Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably gonna happen. It always does.
All right, so can you and Kathy add that to the list? Make sure that Exeter's on for that.
Yeah.
And then,
John will.
all right, the other thing then, I'll just say it, is that remember I mentioned the Yale lecture series? That they've got an American 250th program or course that they're offering to Yale students and also the public. I actually wrote to the professor that's heading it. I'll send you, and I can't send the link to everybody, right? I mean, because can I? Am I allowed to do that?
Send it separately,
Send it to me,
2 at a time.
and then Renee and I, we're gonna put this
Okay.
calendar
So
together.
it's really, anyway, it's running from the end of August to December, but I wrote to the professor and I asked her if it's gonna be recorded. She said yes, and then it'll be on their YouTube channel and we can use it. And it's a whole curriculum on America's 250th coming out of Yale University. And the thing I started noodling about was perhaps her name, I can send you guys this, but I'm thinking maybe she would come here. I could probably get Jamie at the bandstand to give her a comp night. And as a nice way, it would be the American Independence Museum would do it with them in collaboration, but it'd be part of the 250th celebration. And that people
Has she written a book? She could come to the Lit Fest.
Right.
I don't know the answer to that. But in any event, I think this could be really cool and people could participate either in person, watching the videos at AIM, and then have a discussion, different people, coming in. Maybe she could kick it off, but then I think of, Julie, our board chair now, Mark Howard could come in and do, we could do some, anyway, I think it could be an interesting thing throughout the 250th.
Okay, so let's get down some dates and things that we're doing, and you'll have to do that, Karen. But I will put the agenda together, and Renee and I will work on a calendar. So
I'm going to bring a big flip chart next time.
okay, so anyways, all right.
Motion to close?
Okay, all those in favor? Okay. No.
Yay, thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.